Oh, and it's a belated welcome. I mean, we've seen you playing 2 games now. Have you settled in? Do you feel like you're there now?
Yeah. I've been straight away after the first game. Even like the first few sessions with the gaffer, the players, everyone's been unbelievable. Really, sort of come straight in, train and then play. So to start that early as well when you come alone is good for your confidence. Like you get under, like obviously to get the goal on the debut as well. It's a massive confidence.
A couple of loan moves before, so I'm guessing that what happened on deadline day wasn't too much of something that phased you out or anything like that.
No, I mean it's not close. It's a long way, but nah, in terms of like as soon as it come about, I only really found out about it the day before deadline day. Really, and obviously we only got done on deadline day. So yeah, it was a long way away. But in terms of the move to go to League Two into a club, like Carlisle, it was a no-brainer really.
What did the staff down at West Brom say about what they wanted you to do for this next 4 or 5 months?
They just said to me, obviously, playing 23s, especially when I've been on loan already. I've had that experience of men's football. Like you need to go and get that again. The more the more appearances, the more minutes you get, and especially league football as well. Like you can't really turn that down. So they want me to go there, obviously perform, try and get as many goals, just help the team generally play well and get as many minutes as possible.
What did Keith say? Because I know you were keen to get out. I think from what I've read that you wanted to get out and get that experience. But what did Keith say that made you think, yeah, Carlisle's the place to go?
So he sort of he said that he wants to obviously he wants to play football. He wants that sort of suits my game. Obviously not just a football side of it, but he said he had a lot of other players, younger lads that sort of in a similar situation. They're the team that obviously want to fight, that obviously want to stay in the league. Obviously at the time, still now we're struggling. So it's a fight, and he said to me that he feels like I'm a player that will fight for him. So as soon as he told me that, and obviously one of the first things he asked me was, situation with like my family, where I'm from, where I live. So obviously automatically that's made me think, he's not just worried about necessarily the football, but making sure that I'm alright, which is a big part of it, especially when you're coming to like Carlisle, which is a long way away. So yeah.
You mentioned that battle, that struggle. Does it feel like that? I know what you went through with Grimsby was the first half of the season, so you didn't see the end of that one. But is it the same sort of feeling at the moment?
Yeah, it's a similar situation in terms of where we are in the league. Obviously, the fans and everyone at the club wants to win games, wants to do well. But sometimes it happens where you go through blips as a team. I feel like here we have got the players, a very good, a good players technically. I feel like we can. A team that could be higher up in the league, definitely. I think it's just whether making it work. You've got a lot of younger lads, a few more experienced lads, and you've got to wait for it sort of to connect. And when it connects, you'll pick up results and you get wins. At the moment, you kind of just got to, like, example against Colchester, it's only a point, but you build on that, and then eventually over the season you pick up results.
It's an obvious question to ask. Does it feel like a dressing room that's nervous coming into it and seeing it with fresh eyes?
So I don't. No, it doesn't feel nervous. It almost feels like everyone's got belief and confidence in what the team can do. Individually, we've got players that can do things, can score goals. I think we're just waiting for it to happen, and we've got as players got to make that happen as quick as possible. So I wouldn't say we're nervous. Obviously, we know we're in a fight. We know we're down the table, but we know that we've got individual players, and as a team, if we can make that connect and work, we know we've got more than enough to stay in this league.
Grimsby, where you played, scored goals. Newport, where you picked up an injury, but still went and met a new group of players. How good is that experience to have under your belt?
Yeah, I mean, it's massive coming into this league. Like, especially as a young player, it can be quite daunting. I mean, you can play. The players, for example, like they're more experienced, they do little things, little dark arts in football that they do, but you've got to sort of have that. Also things like, when you're playing league football, completely different to 23s, you play based off performances and winning games. You don't play based off exterior things. It's all about winning, so the best team will get picked, and the team that's going to get a result. And you might play well one week, but you might not suit the game next week to get a result, so it might change based on that. So it's different in terms of you've got to be able to deal with things on and off the pitch a lot more in this league. But yeah, the experience at Grimsby and at Newport definitely helped in terms of probably more off the pitch. The big thing I didn't have last season is obviously because of COVID, I didn't play in front of fans. So that was one of my biggest things I was looking forward to coming on loan this season, was playing in front of fans, especially up at Carlisle.
So you come in, I don't think it's a massive secret, they would give it away that you were in the team for Rochdale, and then that happened.
Yeah. What's
that like when you think, oh, I'm about to do it, and then it's off?
Yeah, it's annoying. Do you know what I mean? You're all prepared. To be fair, with the rain all day, you were everyone had the feeling that it was going to be called off. Do you know what I mean, from the morning? But you've got to prepare right, and unfortunately it was called off. But just luckily, especially in this league, you have games back to back, so 3-4 days later we had another game, so it wasn't really an issue.
But surely when you're getting on that bus, you're thinking, is he going to pick me for Port Vale? Am I actually going to be in the team?
Yeah, you had that little bit of worry, like, was I going to play, am I going to play this week? But no, I think the gaffer stuck to what he had planned for the Saturday, for the Tuesday.
You mentioned that battle. Keith mentioned when he signed you, you're an aggressive little player. You're somebody who will get at it. You'll be on it. You showed the fans that in that game on the Tuesday night.
Yeah, I think big thing about my game is, like, I always look to get on the ball, want to be around the ball, won't ever hide from the ball, even if say we're losing or we're down. I always look to get on the ball. Obviously another part of my game is, but especially it's probably easy in the 23s, but being more aggressive and strong. So that's, for example, on Saturday against Colchester, it was a lot more of a fight than it was maybe playing, whereas against Port Vale I was able to get on the ball a bit more. On Saturday I have to be a bit more aggressive. But yeah, it's one of them. It's in the league, and we're in a position now where we have to fight, but we also have to be able to play moments of quality where we can win games. Speaking
of positions, out wide, through the middle, up front on your own, on the left, what's best for Owen?
I still couldn't tell you. I'm 20, I still don't know my best position. I think that's probably an advantage. I can play more than one. I've played at West Brom a lot through the middle, up front. At Grimsby I spent a lot of time playing in the pocket behind the striker, which I quite enjoy because you've got more of a free role. But also I've played out on the right, so I can sort of play anywhere. I'd probably say more central, but then I've played out wide and had some of my best games, so who knows.
So that ball's dribbling into the box. I didn't think you were favourite to get there. There was only one thing on your mind: I'm going to get to that ball. Did you know as soon as you got there that was a goal?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be careful because them sometimes can go out of the stadium when they roll like that. So I had to make sure I kept it low and hard. But yeah, as soon as it rolled across, I was quite confident that I was going to score.
You've done it at other clubs, but to do it for your new club on your first day, what's that like?
Yeah, it was it was an equaliser as well, so it wasn't maybe as exciting because it wasn't to go ahead, but no, it was definitely first time in ages that I've scored in front of a crowd, so that was an amazing feeling to score. Unfortunately we didn't get the result, but yeah, I'd like to have many more winning moments.
How important was that draw on Saturday going?
I think it might not look as pretty, it might not look as glamorous as what maybe everyone else thinks, but that point, especially when you have a run of 3 or 4 games where you haven't got a result, to pick up a point, you build off that. So it's great to win that game, especially when we went ahead, but to get a point in that game, especially with the conditions, it's a massive point, and hopefully we can just build from that and pick up some wins.
We touched on it earlier, you're all about energy, you're all about pace and running and being in people's faces. How close to you are to that 90 minutes of being able to give it everything, because match fitness is different to being fit, which you are? Yeah,
I think I was pretty fit as I signed it, but then obviously, like you said, I had the week where I couldn't play because I just signed for the Salford, then the Rochdale were getting called off, so I had about a week and a half, 2 weeks of not playing, so I missed maybe 2 or 3 games, so I feel like I could get through 90 minutes like reasonably okay, and I think that now I've had 2 games where I've got about 80 odd minutes, I'm definitely ready to play a full game, and normally I'm one of them players that gets a second win. I sort of start strong, get a win back, and then second win I'll go after.
And that ball bulging the net, the fans going mad, you want more of that, obviously.
Oh yeah, 100%. I actually celebrated in front of the Port Vale fans because I thought they were our fans. I didn't actually know where our fans were for a second, and then I ended up looking like and I ended up shushing them, to be fair. But yeah, no, I'd love to have more moments at Carlisle and even away from home.
That got the banter going, and when you were subbed there was the booing and who are you and all that malarkey. That's all part of the game, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's what makes the game so good. You know what I mean? You got the home fans that celebrate and they sort of back your case, and you got the away fans that are on you. But that's what, if anything, I think I thrive off that more than anything.
Just on your previous part of your career, Owen, we were talking before we went live on air here that it isn't the standard route for you. You had to do it. You came in late. You played in the non-league circuit. How much of extra hunger do you think that gives you?
Yeah, I think obviously I started off younger at an academy, and I sort of went into non-league off my own decision. I thought that was the best thing for me to play men's as quick as I could. So playing men's at 16, 17 was probably, I'd argue, probably the biggest point in my career in terms of what I learnt. That got me the move to West Brom. But yeah, I think having a mix of an academy and a non-league background is probably a really big advantage, because you then learn to play like you said, the dark side of football, but also you can learn, to play the technical side at academy. So yeah, it's been a really good mix. And that's still why I'm out on loan now, trying to learn. Still part of a bit of both. With Leeds, he's probably got a very perfect mix. He's got a lot of good players in this league. Also, you've got a lot of players that know how to play the game. So it's good to learn learn both.
Having stepped out of that academy world, gone into the non-league world, did at any point you think, that's it, done, I just need to do something else but play football part-time?
No, if anything, that gave me more of a belief, because I was at an academy and I felt like that's what I felt like I was going nowhere. I felt as though me staying in the academy felt like I was at like a stalemate, like I wasn't going anywhere. So me leaving to go non-league, and although it might look from the outside as though I was maybe giving up on it, actually I took almost, like say, a step backwards to go 2 forward. So I went back, but I always knew that I'd get picked up somewhere and work my way back up.
And this is you, isn't it? Being here, this is a challenge, and it's something that you take on head on because this is your career.
Yeah, 100%. This is obviously, even though it's obviously not my actual club at West Brom, but I'm on loan here, and this is a massive part of my career to boost on, and also I want to help the club do as best as they can do.
I can sort of hear the accent. Are you a Baggy?
No, I'm not. I don't think I sound Birmingham at all, to be fair. But nah, I'm further down south from Swindon, so I'm a bit away. I'm not Midlands at all, but I have been there for two or so years, so I might have picked up a little bit of a twang. Something
happening while you're away. Steve Bruce is in. What's that like, to know that there's a new manager and that you have to impress him, even if it's remotely?
Yeah. We obviously I haven't actually met any of the managers or anyone at the first team that have come in. Of course, I was here, but it's difficult for the first at the moment, because once again, there's sort of some situations where I think where they've got a lot of good players. They need to sort of connect, and when they connect, I'm sure they'll be fine.
Last one, what's your aims for the rest of the season? I know it's a broad, wide question, but what do you want personally from the next 4 months?
My first goal was to keep the club in the league, that we want to stay up and do what gets high as we can in the table as possible. Obviously the aim is to win every game from now on. That's what you want to do as a player every time. Individually, I'd like to score and create as many chances as possible for the team, to help with that. Also defensively, obviously help out as much as possible as well. But yeah, my main aim is to get as many wins as you can as a team, and then I think if you do that right, then individually the stuff will happen for you.
Owen Windsor.